It's just easier for the CAS to report that. Right? This is what's called a parameter solution. You don't really need to know that, but that's all it is. It's just saying let z equal something, whatever that is, y will equal this version of that. So it's just telling you if you pick somewhere on z, then y will be here.
Why can't I just say z equals?
Right, because it can take multiple values, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. So if you knew what z was, or you only cared about when z was 5 or whatever, then you can figure out where y would have to be.
Yeah.
But since it's an entire line through space, we're done. Okay, next thing I want you to do. Okay. Same start. This is So all I've changed is that last line. I think that's all changed, yep. We get an output. Yeah. You can show having typo troubles. Yeah. You should. It should come out as a hang on, I'll write up what let's see. What are we up to now? 3. Minus 2. Y equals.
第一调又是一个式子了。
Negative 2. C 3.
还有没有可能？还有没有可能？
Is that where you go?
早上。
Yeah. No.
C 是哪里冒出来的？这就是一个代表值一样的。
C4, yeah. It depends how many iterations you've gone through. So you'll have C some number, and then, so you have C whatever minus 2 for x, yeah, and then the rest of it all matches. Cool, alright. So what's this trying to tell you?
Depends on what say phrase, but the equation will equal.
Right. Depending on what Z is, the other ones will change. Okay. So what kind of line is that if you think about 3-dimensional space?
From like
Just this way, or?
no, I mean.
I don't particularly care about the magnitudes and the rest of it, but is this in a flat plane?
Yeah.
Is it in an XY plane, a YZ plane, or an XZ plane? Is it going exactly this way, or this way? Right, all 3 of them are moving, so it must be some diagonal mix of everything.
Yeah.
Right? It's either going this way, or that way, or that way, or that way. And depending on which way we define all our directions, that will determine which way. But since none of these are constant, it can't be going anywhere along straight that way, or straight that way, or straight that way. Yeah, it has to be some mix of the 3. Now, it's not overly critical that you get that at all. It just helps when you see that to recognise what's going on. If you're certain that this should have given you perfect answers, then you know that something's stuffed up. right? So you just go back and look at it. There is one other possible result, which we will make. Change that guy into an 11. Change that into 11. Then hit enter. Alright, cool, we did that. What did it spit out? False. Okay, what does that mean?
Can be possible.
No solutions, right? So the calculator's looked at it and gone, nah, that breaks logic. So it's telling you there's no solutions. Okay, if there's no solutions, what does that mean? They never intersect. When you've got 2, it means they're parallel, right? When you've got 3, right, it could be that they're all parallel. That's one perfectly valid option. Right, another option is that you've got one that cuts this way, one that cuts that way, but then instead of the last one cutting through that same point down here, it just cuts up here or something. So they just don't all agree at the same time. So any pair might intersect, but all 3 intersect in different places. Right? Page 88 has pictures of that, or at least attempts to do pictures of that. It's a 2D book with trying to do 3D images, so cut us some slack. But that's that. For the most part, you will only get nice, well, relatively simple things that will turn out to be maybe not 1, 2, 3, but for the most part, they'll usually give you integers or relatively simple fractions. If you're getting 17 on 4, you probably miss the mark, but maybe not. They'll usually, if this ever turns up in exam 2, you pretty much always just go for the CAS because it's just faster. But that's that, that's 2G. Yep, so 2G, do stuff manually, use the CAS to, do it by the CAS after the fact to make sure that it marries up. Right? Because you do have to be able to do this manually, but it doesn't come up all that often. I think that's it. Yep, that's that. Cool. Questions, queries? No? We're all good? Cool. Alright. How about it? I think we're done with everything out of chapter 1, 2, 3 now.
That's right. That's right.所以说最后一个那个式子它不能